Oh my god!
Quick intro. All right, so welcome. This is Does This Work? It's a comedy podcast. I guess today nothing short of comedy titans, comedy rap sheets spanning decades, accolades too many to even mention here. I'm gonna have to put up a list at the end of it. From winning Edinburgh, filming countless specials, careers reaching across TV, radio, MCing, podcasts, novels, just to name a few. Brendon Burns Mickey D, welcome.
Thanks.
There's going to be some applause.
Don't forget the PHATCAVES.
And the PHATCAVES, I'm coming to that. I've got that listed as well. Yeah, and the PHATCAVES. Welcome. So, the first obvious question, which I ask everyone, is why comedy? I guess originally you started at 17, correctly? Yeah. So, again, we'll start with you, Micky. What was the catalyst? What got you into it? Why comedy?
It was a survival instinct because I went for so many different schools.
Right.
Mum and Dad owned pubs, and then we moved into state. And then back again.
Yeah.
And I got fucking bullied.
Yeah.
When we moved to the country, it was like Porky Pig. That's what they used to call me. Yeah.
You were a pub kid as well.
Yeah, pub kid. I had schnitzel tits. You know, I've turned up prepubescent at a fucking country school. Hadn't finished primary school because it was year 6 is the last year primary school in Victoria, and I went from Adelaide to country Victoria.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm sitting with farm boys first year high school, and I'm like,
But did you live in a pub? Your parents ran a pub.
They ran a pub, so I
cool.
grew up around adults, so I had that kind of exposure to, you know, it was
So it's
an army
very
base.
similar to my kid of like growing up around adults.
Mm-hmm.
So you're making them laugh.
Yeah.
But then the bar is too high when you're trying to use comedy to prevent. Like my kid got this a lot as well. Of like he, we all knew him as hilarious. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
And he grew up in the biggest misfit village ever, and he was always fucking. He's fucking hilarious, isn't he? But then he would go to like, suburban Victoria, from the UK and try and survive in that environment, and they would go like, "You're not funny at all." Because he would tell me, "My friends don't think I'm funny," and I was like, "Son, you're making Andrew Maxwell laugh. You're making Adam Bloom laugh. You might be working at a higher plane."
Castlemaine's not ready.
That's great. So then it was a survival sort of thing. You're getting bullied. Are you trying to make the bullies laugh, or it was like a?
That and make friends.
Yeah, cool.
So it's like, how do you find new friends?
Yeah.
And especially when you're getting bullied, because usually the bullies are going, "He's that new kid. This is my fucking on ramp for not being." They're probably just as lonely.
Yeah.
I don't miss them, but it was hard going to these new schools. So it was like, all right, make them laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And then so when you start getting this knack for it and you get on stage at 17, what was the first gig like?
Oh, mate, it was intoxicating. Yeah, it was like, wow, okay. I've had a couple of gigs at high school, but not in an adult environment. Like and high school debating was just a piss take. Yeah. To run in some jokes here and there.
And you got banned from debating?
Well, I'd say, no, that's just to spice up a bit of a biog. That'll make people think I'm nasty. Banned from high school debating. What for? Well, could have been
too good.
No, having a tug before the debate because it was a nerve thing.
I think it was the nudity there.
Look, well, it was the wrong hallway. I thought the third floor of that college would be empty. That hallway was full of kids studying.
I thought cockfight wasn't a metaphor.
It was 6 p.m. The school should have been shut.
Mr. Fitzpatrick wanted to watch. That's great. And what about yourself, Brendon? What was it for you?
I was kind of the opposite from the usual. Was that I didn't use it as a defense mechanism, more like a weapon.
Right.
So bullies were actually kind of scared of me. Yeah. Because I was part of the Rat Pack. Yeah. And we're still friends to this day. Yeah. But I was surrounded by very big blokes that, like, none of us were very good at authority. And generally speaking, I mean, this happens as well as when you're growing up, is no matter what group someone is in high school, they've all got the funny guy. Yeah. And so even the cool kids, the funniest guy, the class clown in the cool kids, was still their secret friend. Yeah. because it was, there's a huge difference between a funny guy and a professional comedian.
Yeah.
Some professional comedians aren't even funny guys.
Yeah, no. As we saw at the Gong with that guy that came up that you brought up, the random guy in the audience. Obviously, his crew's funny guy.
Oh, he definitely thought all night. Yeah. I'm funnier than these guys. Yeah. Because I was watching him and I didn't like his behaviour. Yeah. And the funny thing is, the guy that was right in front of him got off light. Yeah. Because it was one of two guys. I was going to. I mean, we're I suppose we're burying the lead. No, we're not burying the lead. What's the opposite of burying the lead? Exposing. Yeah. Yeah, we're foreshadowing any foreshadowing. Yeah. And then, I used to do like comedy concerts at high school and so on, and like at family gatherings, I was always the one asked to give a speech. Yeah. So I thought comedy was going to be a doddle. Right. And I was wrong. And yeah,
you're just playing your own
You know
rooms.
My first gig story, don't you?
No.
Don't you? Everyone kind of knows. If I start it, you're going to remember it.
Oh, yeah, because, we've had to endure a lot. And I've got a good memory and a great ear, but fuck.
No. If I start the story, you're going to... Because everyone remarks this is the worst first gig story. I had the worst first gig in the history of comedy. And that's a bold claim. Yeah. And then when I tell people, they go, no, that's actually true. You did. Okay. So my sister was in a car accident. And she lost her husband and her kid.
Oh, fucking hell, mate. We've all had that.
Right? And so, and I was like in my teens and my family was broken. And then they asked me to, they said, it's your job to cheer us up.
No.
While we go and look at a dead baby. Yeah. Right? So that's
hang on, that was on the flyer? That's a tough gig, man.
Why do you think I always make my premises so difficult for myself?
I know, you're working backwards.
Everything's a doddle since. And so I get there and my sister's like, broken. My family's broken. I'm hugging my niece and my nephew while they're looking at the corpse of this unborn child and like a fucking idiot. I go, I'll book a comedy gig. Right, and I was getting started as an alcoholic, so I thought I'll drink heaps.
Fair enough. We're on the spirits. We on the?
Just whatever.
Okay.
And and you got to understand as well. It's like 1990, so we're just coming off the back of the alternative comedy boom. Right, so it's and things went from non-sexist, non-racist to politically correct, which was always the beginning of a backlash. Is when you go too far with something. It's like, oh, that sounds like a nice idea, but then you start to label it politically correct, and you're like, that's a contradiction in terms. I've got to fuck with that a bit. So, but as a young Australian white male, I'm the only guy that like you're allowed to hate at an alternative comedy open mic night, and so I get up, and you got to understand as well. While this was going on, my best friend fucked my girlfriend.
Okay.
Back home. So I wasn't mature enough to process the difference between, being angry at her and angry at all women. Yeah. And it's a very PC room. So I get up, I'm fucking hammered. Yeah. Right? And I just do this fucking routine from hell. You must have heard this story. There's no way you haven't heard this story.
I'm revisiting. You painted the picture.
And I get up and I just start and I do this fucking bit from hell about how elephants fuck. And I'm using the microphone. And then I'm saying when women are shit in bed and I'm screaming at these two girls in the front row going, show me how you suck a dick with the microphone. Show me. But with no charm or skill set whatsoever. My act isn't that different now. I'm better at it.
Arguably, that is a hard sell.
It is a hard sell.
To make that stuff charming.
But then, so...
You had a special power.
So then, eventually, like, I'm getting nothing, right? I'm just eating
Eventually,
shit.
You're getting nothing.
I'm getting nothing from start to finish. People are just... Because also, it's too real. There's no shtick to this. I'm obviously, given my conditions and circumstances, I'm genuinely disturbed. Yeah. I'm obviously in the middle of some sort of PTSD. And so everyone's just like, oh, this is awkward. Is he going to be okay? And then, the last thing you want is pity. And so then I just started screaming at the room, why don't you think I'm funny, you cunts? Why don't you think I'm funny? And eventually the MC just goes, come off, mate, come off. And he drags me off. But that's not the worst bit.
Not
the worst bit is... The thing that I don't foreshadow is that my parents were in, videotaping the entire thing, because they were hoping that my first gig would cheer them up after they'd seen their dead grandbaby.
So this is the same day?
No, this is all like in the same period.
Same time, yeah.
But like because I'd always been the funny one and done speeches and so on, they presumed I was just going to walk in and fucking storm.
Yeah.
Not taking into account everything else that was going on in our lives. Like that's a bit of a... So I walked to the back of the room and I said to my dad, who was holding a video camera, because he really did think I was going to fucking tear the roof off. And I just went, please tell me you stop recording that. And he goes, son, and I quote, he goes, son, I stopped taping the moment the first tear of shame hit my cheek.
I remember that bit.
Right? And so this is why whenever people have always asked me, you know, when an audience doesn't like you much, you don't really seem that bothered. And it's like, I made my dad cry at the first one.
Moving stuff.
It's like, so everything's been fucking downhill since.
Yeah.
It's
so with audiences like that, let's say, do you buy into the fact that you sort of have to lean into the sort of the character that the audience sees you as? Like the audience kind of tells you who you are and you kind of have to lean into that because deviating from it is not what they want?
Well, that's an interesting question because we were talking about this now, is in the modern era when you look at the Kiltony universe thing and the roast battling thing and so on.
Yeah.
It's, and we always say this as well, is like in your first 5 years, just get there before they do. So if you look like something, so you've got cross eyes, you have to address cross eyes.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Because if someone yells it at you, you've got to have something better than what was theirs.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to go with the periods. Look at Matt Kirshen. He looks like a child. So, you know, so it's a very easy, palatable, I look like this and then I am this.
Yeah.
But that's when you're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
You know, you spend... I've said this for, you know, decades now as well. As you spend the first 10 years building your mask and then you spend the rest of your career trying to peel it off.
Right.
I'm going to cry.
Eh?
I'm going to cry. I know, that's just a bit of me mask stuck in my cheek. That's lovely.
But yeah, but really, you know, your voice has nothing to do with what their perception of you is.
Yeah.
You can accept their perception, but if you're only doing 5, you don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're only doing between 3 and 5.
Yeah, it's going to be bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it's like, I was walking around with a mohawk, you know, on stage. I've just grown it out.
Yeah.
I might put it back in for next Fringe.
Yeah.
But then immediately, you either have to address it, like you're saying, or use it or be ready. But what I'd forget sometimes, I'd freshly have it prepped.
Yeah. And
go back on stage that night, and particularly at my own home ground, the Rhino Room in Adelaide. Too hard, too early, too fucking in their face. Because I look like a fucking, you know, a monster. Not a monster, but I look fucking full on. And I was like,
you this look like a monster.
Well, no, thanks. No, but no, who's this fucking bloke? I just want to enjoy my Friday night.
Look, I think you're giving yourself too much credit as monster.
Thanks, mate.
I think more like confused rooster.
Hold my cock.
Well, it's cool. Like, I guess in the early days, did you feel like you were already finding you're yelling at this chick to show you how she gives a blowjob to a microphone?
I never did that again.
No, but was that?
I think it deserves a rewatch.
Believe me, I went back home that night, and you know Vicky, you know my mum.
Mm-hmm.
So like my dreams are fucking crushed and so on. And she actually comes in the next morning with a bucket of ice and throws a bucket of ice at me to wake me up and goes, "You weren't funny last night. You were deeply ashamed of you." And so I'm already crushed. The thing is, I carried it for decades, but you know what mum's like. You know, I'm in a carer's village now looking after her, and it certainly gave me peace. It took me decades to go, you know, it really, you know, my dreams were crushed, and you told me that you were deeply ashamed, and that broke my heart. And she said, after I plucked the courage up to tell her, she just goes, Well, I was.
Yeah.
Were you?
I cracked up laughing and I went, I guess that's, maybe I shouldn't carry that.
Were you you weren't expecting them to see them there that night?
Yeah, no,
You were expecting them.
No, I was completely overconfident.
Right, okay.
Like everything I'd done up until that point hadn't been, being the funny guy in high school or being the funny guy at the comedy concert, at high school, or being the funny kid at a family wedding is an entirely different kettle of fish from stand-up comedy, because the expectations are so much higher.
Yeah, you wrap that in.
Like, you've dared to call yourself a comedian.
Yeah.
Like
we'll fucking see.
Yeah, we'll fucking see.
There's a lot. Yeah, you still got to push through that.
Yeah. Which is also why I think, like, in the modern era, the gimmick is playing very well, because we've got, because it's, so exposed now, and there's so many podcasts like this, and people, the audiences have, look, it's like this. Everyone presumes to have a sense of humor. No one presumes to have a sense of particle physics, and you know what I mean?
A little bit.
So everyone's an expert.
Yeah.
But they only realise that they're only an expert on their own sense of humour.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where the ambiguity of the description actually really spells out the ambiguity.
Yeah.
Of you have a sense of humour. Yeah. You couldn't write a joke to save your fucking life. Yeah. You recognise something when it makes you laugh, and you recognise when you're surprised by something, but that's just a sense of it.
Yeah.
You don't understand the machinations of this.
No, and your job is to make it look a lot easier.
Yeah, the better you are, the easier you make it look.
Yeah, that's right. Like, it's meant to look like it's an off-the-cuff, first-time thought that's coming to your head now. I mean, that's what Adam Bloom talks about, not talking to the audience and revealing the fact that you've said this joke multiple times. It has to be like a fresh...
Well, he and I have gone back and forth about that.
Right.
A lot. And he even agrees as well that, actually, I can't let my pet peeves become rules. Because obviously, for the first 5 years,
because there are no rules.
Yeah. The whole point is every rule is made to be broken.
Yeah.
And for the first 5 years, because of the aggressive nature of my persona, my act was mostly disclaimers. Right. To the extent where Bloom would even ring me up. Really? And go I was bombing so hard the other night, I had to use your stuff. I wrote a lot of things that, sometimes when you come up with something that's in the situation that's perfect for that situation, and it's still like a fellowship, that sometimes you'll come up with something that you realise, that has to be public property now. I am accepting that is going to be public property.
Right.
If this happens, say that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I had a few.
Yeah.
I had a few. God, there was actually so many I can't even fucking remember one. But people would go, I had to use your line.
Was it, it might have been, say what you want about...
Say what you want about...
Say what you want about leukemia. I think it's a good way for bald kids to meet sports stars.
I don't think anyone wanted to nick that.
It helped me clear out a late night party. How do I get these cunts out of my kitchen?
Oh, so you mean the public property is if you want to walk the room?
Yeah, if I need to
you
clear
just start
this
doing
room
my
out.
stuff.
Only house party kitchens,
Well, then how the comedy scene today in 2025, how does it compare to 2007? Because obviously we weren't
being filmed.
Yeah, that's right. That was going to be my next question. And do you think that had social media existed back then, like it is
we'd
today,
be in jail,
right?
Yes.
With a couple of kids have even said to me, because we used to co-host. Well, I mean, I suppose I'll talk about Micky like he's not here. Right? So Micky was like a teenager.
Yeah.
When we all first met him, but we all liked him, and he crashed on lots of our couches and so on. And I think it was even Adam Hills that saw you at KFC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were working at KFC, and Hills, he said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I come and did a recce at the Edinburgh Fringe, and saw all the Aussie big guns. Yeah. I knew Hillsy from Adelaide, but I hadn't met any of the Aussies overseas. And then I stayed on after the
Edinburgh Fringe. You and I had met before then, surely.
No, we met in...
Really?
Yeah, we met in Edinburgh.
Was it through Arj?
Yeah, I met at the festival through Arj Barker. I knew Arj from the Aussie Fringes.
Yeah.
I come to Edinburgh my first year. Yeah. And just through Arj Barker, I ended up staying in the same house share with...
Arj and I were living together.
Yeah, great. And then how did Fat Cave come to be?
So this is where I'm going with this, right? So he crashed on a lot of couches. We all liked him. Yeah. Right, and he was a funny kid and very likable. And then, see, a lot of people have tried to replicate this. And whenever anyone says to me as well, like, "Oh, I want to try and replicate the glory days of the Fat Caves, all those urban myths," and it's like, well, you can't.
Yeah,
that's not possible.
Yeah,
because first of all, urban myth is impossible. Right. Now, I mean, the whole foundation of what happens in the caves stays in the caves. Yeah. We banned all phones. We banned all.
That's why I couldn't find anything of it.
We didn't let press in because of the shit that we did. Yeah. But I don't think anyone else could have done it. Yeah. When people have said, "Oh, I want to recreate the glory days of it," it's like you're not able to because you're not able to do what Micky did, which was he didn't make it about him.
My job was to defuse a bomb each night or land the plane.
Yeah, and he
I had a great team with me.
Yeah. And you mixed it with hip hop. You had a DJ.
Yeah, so me and my housemates cooked up the concept in London over a chicken pie. Moni and Steve is the DJ. Yeah. Moni's my bestie. My wife's bestie as well. Yeah, man. And we come up to Edinburgh, and what put us on the map was a couple of things that just popped up these late night things as the comics came to play, not do their shtick, not to try and promote their show. It was like, where else are you going to get a dozen of the world's best from all around the world is like jamming.
And also another factor was ecstasy was £5 a tab.
No one shared it with me because I was probably a pup.
Can I just move that a little bit so I can see your face on the camera? Just
sorry.
That's all right, yeah.
Oh, fucking amateur move. Jesus Christ.
I got you on this one, but I just realised...
We've got a real veteran here, doesn't understand a gate. And so there was actually a couple of factors to it as well. So there was like a gang of us that came up together. So there was like, when I started as well, there was, it wasn't a young man's game. What are you doing?
I'm just laughing and adjusting that. No, I'm listening.
See the chemistry? See the chemistry? Like a fluid dance.
Right?
And so... when I started, no one was my age.
Right.
And then when I moved back to the UK, so I started in 1990, and then I was in Melbourne for a couple of years. Then I went back to 94. And when I went back in 94, there was more guys my age that had been going like 1 to 2 years. Yeah. And that was kind of my uni group, if you will.
Yeah, cool.
And so when more younger guys came in, they tended to gravitate towards us. They used to call us the creche. Yeah. So it started with a core group of me, Adam, Ed Byrne, and David Haddingham. And then there was another generation after that, that's when Andrew Maxwell and Glenn Wool and that, came, and Micky and so on. And we would take and Ross Noble, and we'd take them under our wing because they would go there's the young guys, and also they're kind of party animals, and everyone's making more cash than we've fucking seen before. And chemicals are very cheap. Yeah. And so we had a thing. So Micky crashed on my couch, and he was even saying, look, I want this to be an anything goes. So I was like, well, what if I headline on Sundays? And the rule is on Sunday, if you're in the room, you're on the show.
Yeah.
And then we had Dare Night. And then that kind of was a bit, and Provenza was around. Paul Provenza, the director of the Aristocrats, was around at that time. It was the precursor to a lot of shows.
Yeah. Ben Bailey was on.
Yeah, the Green Rooms with Paul Provenza was very much stemmed from Fat Caves. It was a precursor to Skankfest.
Todd Barry was
unwittingly,
on that year
easily. Todd Barry was, so it was and Leighton Live had stopped being Leighton Live. Leighton Live had become more sanitized when it moved to a new venue.
People wanted to showcase. Yeah. People, come and see my show rather than let's battle an energy or create something for that hour.
And, also it was started to become full of drama students The audience was drama students, not hard nut fucking Scottish blokes that would bottle you. So it was an entirely different vibe and room. So they were like disruptive, but in a different kind of a snobby way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the early Leighton Live. It was if it kicked off, you would have to know how to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And then the drama student ones was like, yeah, they're being rowdy, but I could beat everyone in this room in a fight. So it was entirely. So we basically had our late night hangout, and it was like Jeffries, fucking Wool, Maxwell. You know, we were all partiers.
Yeah.
And it was definitely, we policed the room. So the room was rowdy, but like on a number of occasions, like I remember Glenn even walking to the front of the stage and going, "Sit the fuck down, mate. There's a gang of 20 comics up the back that will fucking eat you." And so it was also that kind of rowdiness, as well as like, we knew that if it was a problem, we would win.
Yeah, because it would always find an out.
Yes.
No matter how crazy it got, we all
That was our rule, was the punchline will reveal itself.
Yeah. And there'll be it's just trust, and it's that's listening.
Yeah. There was no competing. We were talking about this, the difference between the skill that takes like a decade to kind of get a sense of each other, doesn't it? Like if you look at like Thursday, anyone would think that he and I were combating, but we've shared a stage many a time.
Yeah.
It's like pro wrestling. It looks like a competition, but it's actually a collaboration. There's elements of competition to it, but we're sparring. And the thing is, you can see now that because with the overexposure and oversaturation, perhaps, of theory, and like you look at like something like a Kill Tony panel, like it's a cooperation. Like you look at when him and Adam Ray work together, they're very much cooperating. Even though it looks like a back and forth, but when you look at like someone competing, it doesn't work. When someone genuinely competes,
block, it's jar, and it doesn't flow.
Yeah,
like it's a fox in a chicken coop.
And like we were talking about, I've never seen it as a competition. Even the gongs or any competition that is a competition, I've never felt like I was up against someone else. It's just always like, how great is it to be here together and like all going, going for this thing. It's never felt like I hope I win. My favorite nights in comedy ever have always been the car journey home when everyone bombed.
Yeah, well, it's going to gel you together.
There's no funnier night, is there, when you're just burying the fucking crowd.
But you all had to equally bombed, or one person gets savaged. It needs to. Yeah, it can't be half a drama.
Yeah,
it can't be like, oh, that was.
There is that weird thing now of like people will go like, well, that bombed. Like people, I've noticed this in green rooms now, is kids rush to say, well, that bombed. It's like, no, it went over your head. It's not what happened.
Is it a cop out to say that it was a shit audience? You know,
there is such a thing as a shit audience.
No, that's what I'm like. I hear a lot of it's a shit audience. Don't worry, when they're just trying to make someone feel better about a shit.
Look, I'm sorry, man. Back in the 90s, if me, Micky D, Stu Hu, and Adam Bloom were driving home from a gig, and we'd all bombed. They were a shit-baying fucking audience. And just the violence with which you slag the room off and go, that fucking guy and that fucking, because also things weren't that professional. Sometimes you would turn up to shows and they had no idea how to run a show. I've been asked to stand on a pool table.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and
without
you
a microphone.
had to make it work. And the fact people would kind of go, oh, fuck, they're making it work. And that was, what about Jongler's Bow? Remember that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Following Ricky Grover.
Who speaks fluent Cockney.
He's an ex-gypsy boxer, so half the room knows him.
Good luck. I remember walking there.
And they're actually dangerous people.
I was looking for the traffic light, because the traffic light over the sound desk was, you've done your 20. I was just starting to do 20s in London. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It's Jongler's Bow tonight, and this is my final one, and I'll get into the club circuit tonight if I nail this. On the way to the gig, it's around Guy Fawkes night. And I'm like, everything's popping off. And Diwali as well. The skies are light. Right? all those ones. These kids see me walking across the path. It's when you had to use the London A to Z and map, and I'm like, okay, there's a fucking path there. Pew, pew, like that. And then next minute, they're fucking shooting these Roman candles at me. I'm getting shot with fireworks on the way to this gig. Yeah. And I'm just going, come on. And I remember this guy fucking stood up, and I'm in the middle. They've tucked me in to do my 20. But I remember a guy stood up and heckled the first act. He goes, how dare you fucking say that to my gran? His nana was it's a family fucking do, mate. My nan's right here. You mind your fucking manners. And I'm like, I'm on next. Just got to do my time. And I'm in the back of my eye, I'm just going, can that red light come on, please? And it did. And I'm like, oh, I got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But that, I think also, that's pressure. Why, back to Fat Caves, I think that's why it can't be recreated, because it would have to be a kid that had slept on everyone's couches, that was basically beloved by veterans, that really did go with anything goes. Yeah. Like he trusted the experience of everyone else in the room. Yeah. And actually just went with it. Yeah. And I mean, and it was fucking wild. Yeah. I mean, really wild. Of like this, like the whole of Edinburgh was talking about what happened at Fat Caves last night. There was the time we did the dares. You remember the dares? Yeah. That was the line. Actually, that was the one time where it was the line.
We raised £170 sterling, which was around, that was a good headline fee. Yeah. So it was even worthy for the comics to go, fuck, I'm going to have 180 quid to walk around money, some notes, mostly coin, because we passed this pint around and you were haranguing people, pay some fucking money. And
and also,
a spectacle.
I mean, I'm older now, so they're a bit saggier. But in my youth, and particularly in the cold of Edinburgh, and doing a lot of cocaine, I used to be able to tuck my nutsack. And so if someone was particularly rowdy and actually like wanted to fight,
let's see it.
I would get them up on stage and I'd say, you get to kick me in the nuts as hard as you can. But if I get back up within 5 seconds, I get to do it to you. And it was actually a trick. I would just tuck my jeans. They always just got nothing but arse. So I'd go down and then bang, stand right back up. And I would still, this is actually part of Heckle Club, right? So this is like, we had and then we had other guys with other tricks, that we had weapons in our arsenal, that it's like, if you thought like you were part of the paddle fucking gong show Caesar crowd, you were about to get 10 Caesars descending upon you. And like, so we did the dare, we had dare night. And it was, we ran up all that money, and I think it was whoever did the dare, but then everyone in the crowd got to write a dare. And whoever pulled the dare out, that's actually how Heckle Club happened. So then, this is one of the most like famous stories in like, you know, urban legends in comedy. Like but it's completely spoken history. Yeah. And, but we had dare night. And but everyone in the audience wrote a dare into a bowl, and then we pulled the dare out, and no matter what, you had to do it. And so it was kick someone in the nuts, blah, 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 blah. But then someone pearled up, do a shit.
In a pint glass.
For 170 quid or something like that. And the funny thing is,
I'm just flat out do a shit in a pint glass. I'm like, not for free. And then it started a quick fucking
but it started to escalate, like, and the thing is, Jim Jeffries was younger then as well. Yeah. So, you know, we go, what about Jeffries then? He goes, I don't have one. But the thing is, we're looking out of the crowd, and basically everyone in the crowd is pulling the face of, do I have a shit in me? Or, I don't really want to see a shit. But it was the same face. So everyone's going like this. So then Freddie, your producer, and someone else, like, she just said, that's the fucking line.
No, that's Moan. It was Moan that year. Moan. He goes, like, no. He goes, and I go, okay, so we had to find a way to land the plane.
That's how he goes to me. He goes, look, mate, everything. But shit? Come on. But shit?
And then I had to talk the boys off the wire, and it was like, you know, deer in the headlights was my weapon, playing kind of like, oh, come on, guys, please. And then another night it was, swear jar. You know what? That's what I used to get out of it. I pulled another jar out, and it was, earlier on in the night it was, I'm not allowed to swear. So every time I swear, I got to lose an article of clothing. Yeah. So at the end of the show, I'm in my undies pleading to these guys to stop, please.
Provenza teabagged me.
Yeah.
There's all this.
What?
And then I teabagged him. But the thing is, he would always say, what happens in the cave stays in the caves. And people respected it. That's why it couldn't happen today.
Even our...
There's no way we would be able to stay off social media.
And we're really lucky because we had crew that understood.
Yeah.
Right,
crew that would, And
some guy did take a photo. And actually, that was another time where Glenn... comics would run from the back of the room and go, put your fucking phone down.
Yeah.
Because it was like 20 of them at the back. And like I said, it's like if you were in... particularly Sundays, I think it was, just in general, if you were in the room and you had chops, some people, some younger novices thought like, I'll have a go. That never, you had to have some, you had to have chops, you had to have something.
You just had to have
gumption,
the means to connect and realise, because people just smell someone throwing out shtick.
Yes.
We didn't come here to see someone showcasing.
Yeah. No.
We'll see through that because
you couldn't interrupt and go, so I just bought a computer.
Get the fuck off.
Planes,
and it'll be one of us out the back going,
so my wife just had a baby.
No, she didn't.
Fuck off, cunt, fuck off. Right? You had to be relevant to what was happening. So
the closest things like that today is Kill Tony and those kind of live podcasts.
But they're very well structured.
Yeah, but not even...
And he gets actually a bad rep sometimes. People think... Because he's working heel.
Yeah.
It's like you saw us the other night. Like the heel's being the ring general. He's calling the spots. And in any kind of group dynamic. The buffoon is always doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And, frequently we switch roles. But we know who's doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the moment I went, there's a cunt, and Micky just straight away went, fucking wet. But he then still played babyface.
Yeah.
Because he knew I was going to go too hard and everyone was going to go, this isn't fair.
And that gives us more range. We can go.
Yeah. But it's great to have that
it.
Knowledge of each other's, stage personas or personalities that you can just fly off the cuff.
It's like an odd, I mean, we've got it wrong to get it right.
Yeah, that's right.
True, but it comes through, that back and forth, and just knowing it can't be two of the same note the whole time because we're both up.
And
up
if anyone
about.
Genuinely tries to win, nobody wins.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
It's like we were saying this afterwards, it's our laugh.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to know this, right? So when it comes to Heckle Club, right, it is also crazy things. So because there was, a lot of partying going on and there was a lot of wildness in the room, a lot of stories happened around the room.
Yeah.
Like the after party would be just as fucking nuts. And I want to know this, are you the mystery fifth man in Heckle Club? Were you there?
I slept in. It was orchestrated at my after party.
Right.
And we sat there and refined it, and I fucking slept in.
Someone sent me a photo recently.
I was there, yeah.
Oh, so it is you. Wait, so someone sent me a photo recently of Heckle Club, and it's Eddie Ift, the late, great Paul Byrne, Paul Provenza, Glenn Wool, and Alex Lazarev.
Yeah.
So there's a mystery sixth man who took the photo on the way out. Was that you?
No.
So what happened was, so it's after dare night, right? And then, and I'll tell it the way that Paul Byrne does. To give you context, Paul Byrne is Ed Byrne's little brother, the late great Paul Byrne. He died recently, but he was a comedy director, funniest fucking guy you've ever met.
Yeah.
Like, he's so beloved. Like, a good comparison Matt Kirshen came up with was he was, on a much smaller scale, he was our Kevin Nealon.
Right, yeah, okay.
He was the behind the scenes guy. Yeah. Like, we accidentally invented his job of being a stand-up comedy director. Yeah. Because I was just sitting around writing a new hour, and then I just ended up doing the entire hour, and then he just started doing that with everyone. Right? And just a great funny as fuck. Like, there's so many comedians that you've seen that have his fingerprints on them, or there's a Paul Byrne line in there somewhere that he just did effortlessly. Yeah. He just had no desire for the stage. But So this is his tell, and I think this is the most believable tell.
Okay.
Because every other comic, because he's a director, he just was a witness. Whereas every other comic tells a story.
To embellish it and...
Well, they make themselves the hero of the story.
Yeah.
Like Alex's version of the story is the worst.
Yeah, because it's just so...
So there's this kid, Alex Lazarev, so he's one of the kind of hangers-on.
Yeah.
Right, so there's the core group of Fat Caves, and there's a kid that wants to get in with the Fat Caves group. Right, so he's going to do anything we fucking tell him. Yeah. Right? I think, didn't he get done for fraud?
No. He's a phenomenal character himself. He
managed to get kicked out of the Cranley Gardens house.
No.
Which is the comedian's drug house. And it's like, you've got to really, like, I think he faked a burglary and stole their fucking pennies.
Dude, you need to settle down.
So it was at your place?
Yeah, it was after party at mine.
So it might have been a dare night as well.
Yeah, and we're cooking up the idea to go to a...
Well, this is how Paul Byrne tells it.
Yeah, okay, great.
Which is my favourite tell, because Paul Byrne does every character. Everyone else puts themselves in too much.
Yeah.
But he goes, Paul Byrne says, and you know when it's 8 a.m. after Fat Caves and you've been doing coke all night, and Glenn Wall goes, I've got an idea. And when that happens, it's never good. And he goes, we're going to invent a club called Heckle Club. And the first rule of Heckle Club is we never talk about Heckle Club, right? That got busted. Everyone talked about it forever. So he goes, what we should do, because someone had heckled us too much that night, right? And they were thinking they wanted to go back to a show that, like, find someone that had heckled and then have a show. Yeah. But then it's like, well, I think we should find the first, because it's the Edinburgh Festival. Shows go from like 9 a.m. until 3 a.m. in the morning. Wow. And he goes, let's get out the Fringe guide. You know about this, don't you? We're all going to ride a heckle into a bowl. Yeah. And we're going to go to the first show that we can go to. And we're going to put heckles in a bowl. And no matter what it says on the piece of paper, you have to stand up and yell it out. So the only thing they can find at 9 or 10 a.m. Will Eddie If be awake right now?
No.
Because he will remember...
No,
do you know the name of the show?
I don't remember the name of the show, but it was a
Anglican
kind of like
schoolgirl
high school production.
It was Anglican,
and it was a World War II drama. And a nurse is attending to a wounded soldier.
Well, that's going too fast. You're fast forwarding.
Is that
so? Yeah, Paul Byrne gave me fantastic details.
Excellent.
So they show up, right, and they're thinking they're full of coke and gumption and everything, right? And then they show up and it's parents and it's teachers and it's 14-year-old kids. Yeah. But they sit down separately, right?
Reeking.
And I thought I could have
sworn
Kerry Marks was the sixth man. It's a good bet.
Yeah.
Because I seem to remember Paul said he was sitting next to Kerry, right? And they go in and they stink. They stink of booze. They stink of Fat Caves from last night. And he said that they all go and sit down separately. And he just said he could feel this just unspoken agreement that they weren't going to do it. Right? But they'd all gone and they pulled their heckles out of the bowl. And they put it in their pockets and they didn't know what it was. But they just were looking at one another going, we can't. This is borderline paedophilia. This is fucking, this is... And so it gets to a scene in the play where it's a 14-year-old girl dressed as a nurse tending to a 14-year-old wounded soldier. And she says, I believe, I don't know what I can do for him. And Alex Lazarev pulls out his heckle out of his pocket and goes, suck his fucking cock.
He'd do anything, that kid.
But the thing is, as Paul Byrne tells me, Paul Byrne says, I'm fucking dying, laughing in Kerry's fucking shoulder. But he goes, but the thing is, it was so untoward. It's like, have you ever been at a gig where someone yells something so racist, you give it the benefit of the doubt?
Surely.
So the thing is, it was so left field. It was so unexpected.
Lightning.
It was so not supposed to happen at 10 a.m. in the morning that people thought it was part of the play.
It was.
So there's parents looking at the going like, I don't think you should be. I'm going to have a word to the director.
War is cruel.
So everyone's in shock. Like the whole room is like, suck his fucking cock. And the kids go it didn't even register, so they just kept doing the play, right? But then the 6 Heckle Club members that are sitting apart, they're gonna corpse. It's gonna be apparent, you're gonna look guilty, right? So I think Alex gets out first, right, and then Paul and Eddie and might have been Carey, they get up.
So right? The second act.
Yeah, right. So but then once they start to get up, right, then some of the parents and the organisers and so on realise that did just happen.
Yeah.
So the 5 of them get out, and there's a parent standing by the door. They're in the car park, pissing themselves, laughing. Oh my fucking God! But then they realise, where's Provenza? And he got stuck there. But the funny thing is, Provenza is 15 years older than us.
He
sits down the front. So I asked him later, I said, what did you do? So he can, he's quite a swaggery smoker. Yeah. So he walks out he sits through the whole thing. And he walks out and he lights a cigarette and they go, what happened? And he goes, it wasn't a bad play. And then they go, so what did you do to get away with it? He goes, I'm sitting on my own in the front row.
Yeah.
So I'm 15 years older than the other ones. I just went, watch the fucking play. This is just some people. So then cut to that night. And they get to Fat Caves and they're telling us both, because I had Luke that night, so I was babysitting, he'd gone to bed. We've just heard the story blow by blow. Alex naturally tells the story he's the only one with the balls to have done it. Yeah. He's the hero.
Yeah.
So then Eddie, Micky and I are doing the muck around bit at the end, and Eddie then goes... And because people had seen my take a shot in the nuts thing a few times. You remember this? Do you want to tell the rest?
No, you do.
You sure?
Yeah.
And so I think Eddie Provenza and I are fucking around, and Eddie then goes, Alex, get back up here. Right? And we've done the nut shot thing. Right? And he goes, I think on behalf of the Anglican schoolgirls fucking theatre, whatever it's I guarantee Eddie will know the name of the troupe verbatim.
Yeah. Right,
and he goes, you need to get some comeuppance. So Alex gets on stage and is going, you're going to take my nutshot shot. Right? And so we go, can we get someone to represent someone from the Anglican schoolgirls thing? And the thing is, there was a hangover from how I said, describe the late and live crowd?
Yeah.
So some drama student, this tiny little girl, gets up and thinks, this is my chance to shine.
That's right.
And she gets up and...
really gives it the big one too.
She basically starts acting like... what's the female's character from Street Fighter?
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li. So she just keeps doing this Chun-Li thing. Yeah. But she just keeps on doing it.
Yeah.
And we're all yelling at her, kick his nuts! Kick his nuts!
Baying at this stage.
And the crowd are baying. And then from the back of the room, Ava Vidal.
Oh, wow.
You remember now?
Yeah, wearing her knee-high boots. Powerful.
Yeah. She's a 5'10", 5'11", British black ex-prison guard.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Turned comedian.
Yeah. She was just over it. She goes, will somebody just get
and
this
she
done?
just goes, oh, for fuck's sake. And she walks down the middle of the room, right? She flings this girl to the side like an aphid and just arcs up and she's got steel toe boots and she gives the most pitch perfect square kick to the nuts, lifts him off the ground, right? And he fucking pukes. He pukes on stage then and there. But then I remember us turning to each other and just going, told you the punchline will present itself.
Right? Man. Then there's a photo of a mid-stride just about to plant that.
Have you got that photo?
Craig Egan's got it somewhere. That's
great.
So sexy, so powerful in that moment. I'm like, bang. That was the end. Lights out. Because even the sound and lighting crew knew when the out was.
Yeah.
Because then bang, lights go off. I fumble around for the mic and back announce the show as the music plays.
You guys must, when you get together, especially with the old crew, you must have stories for days, especially because you couldn't take, there was no videos, no photos of that, not like you can go now and look at your streams and everything.
Oh man, we'd have to listen to the same story 7 times in the same night.
Yeah.
Because we'd go from one house party to the next, especially in Edinburgh, so it was always...
And people would be asking.
Yeah. But it's better, but more often than not, we're in the same room and retelling it to each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean,
thankfully.
There's also like something else to this as well. It's like then on the final night, so after this month of like just so many stories like that like came out of it, and then we get to the end of the final night, and again, like I said, you've got to understand, Micky was this kid that slept on our couch, right? And we get to the final night, and he wasn't being fake humble. He wasn't, right? But it was the last act of the last night, and then like it's packed. So like everyone that's been there all month is there. This, you must remember this vividly. It must be one of your
greatest nights of my life.
Right? So then at the very end, he goes, I don't know how to finish this. And we're all looking at one another and we're going, I don't know how to how do we top this? And then Provenza, I think, that yelled it out, and he just goes, you, Micky, only you can close this. So, and the thing is, we all look at one another and go, yeah, actually, there's nothing else that can be done. I'm also like going, we're also all going like, fuck, please, like, this is a tough month to follow.
And everyone's empty. And then, I'm like, oh fuck, I had to just pull something out my ass at the end of the month myself. It was
but you're underplaying it. You fucking crushed.
It must have felt good.
Crush.
Yeah.
It's standing O. Like
wow.
Edinburgh Comedy gave him a standing O at the end of like going. Yeah. No one else could have made this chaos like functional.
Yeah.
You know, and no one else also would be able to pull in that many favors. So that's why whenever anyone says to us like, I want to try and recreate the Fat Caves. We're like, nah,
ain't gonna happen.
Nah, you don't. You don't. I'm sure you'll think it'll be like it, but you know, you'll go to jail.
So then now, after all,
you've got to open with doing a shit in a glass. Ari did that eventually at Skankfest.
So, do you feel like that camaraderie's gone in the comics today?
I think it depends on...
It's just in a different format, you know, because we'll still send each other tailored memes knowing all our, all our mates' sense of humour. Or even our wider circle. You're like, I haven't spoken to so-and-so in ages, but, you can send them a meme that's some stuff you have similar contact with, you know. But the green room's not the same.
Right. No, everyone's on their phone.
Everyone's on their phones, man.
That's not so much in Perth. The Gong
Me
Show,
and my wife were trying for our second kid. I had 9 stitches in my knee, and we had to go in the green room toilets, and no one even knew.
Right.
I don't know if that says anything about her, me, or them. It wasn't even the time we conceived, but it just goes to show green rooms aren't like they used to back in the day. Green room would be like, how you doing in there, man?
Yeah.
Tapping
That's
on the door,
there would have been,
trying to fuck
there would have been
rhythm.
the chorus line.
Someone would have known I was in there.
Get in there.
They would have knew we were on like a kind of, what was it called, a pregnancy mapper app.
Yeah.
They would, they would have known all that stuff. They'd know we're trying. Yeah. But I was all bust. So I managed to sneak away.
Giving your wife shit going, you're way out of his league, love.
Totally. There was no way we could have just snuck off there and, wow.
Yeah.
That was the last time the green room was good for me.
I had distraction.
That very moment,
But I think actually this
and no one even asked a thing when we got back in the green room.
How was it?
Yeah.
But I think like the scene here, you look at Gong, like no one's on their phone because they don't have time. Because there's enough distractions. There's enough fucking Pavlovian things going on.
How about this? There was a
but
little
I don't really
era.
know. Huh?
There's a little era at the Gong where it was a random hat draw. So no one knew when they were on.
Yeah.
So everyone was at peak anxiety.
Oh.
I could be next.
Right.
I could be next. So it was bubbling like that for a while. That was a good atmosphere.
There was a lot more fuck about, like, even they talk about like the early cellar days of the back table.
Right.
Of like no one would be on there. But even now you go up and like half of them at that table are on their phone.
Yeah.
Or they're saving it for the air.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen as much of that. I noticed that in Melbourne, definitely everyone was on their phone, checking their socials, seeing what they were.
See, I immediately think if they're on the phone, they're looking at their material, like going over their notes or something. But,
it could be that, but still, you go around the corner. Because we all look at our notes. Well, then, I guess because we'd look at our notes if it was paper. Yeah. But but we'd at least it'd be one or two or three things. Yeah.
And you guys frequent Perth, and no one shits on Perth like people from Perth, right? It's like your sibling that you can talk shit about, but no one else can.
Yes.
Yeah. But do you think that people need to sort of leave Perth to make it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'd need to leave Australia to make it.
That's what I was going to say as well, Australia or Perth in general, because like Australia's behind the rest of the world in general, but Perth is behind the rest of the country. It just feels like it does feel like somewhere you have to graduate from in any sort of industry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's some exciting stuff happening here now.
Mm-hmm. We've got the movie studio, because you've done some acting as well, yeah? So you've got that movie studio being built here, which should be up and running by early next year. Do you do any acting as well?
Yeah, the Campfire one, right?
The what? Sorry.
Yeah, because we've got massive tax breaks.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I tried to get one going in Townsville because it looks like LA.
Yeah.
That got me into trouble.
Studio out here. That'd be good
it's
for
up near the airport.
Extras. I should get my stunt license.
Well,
I don't look like I can go, but I can go.
You can go.
Flat back. It was that.
I might still be able to take a kick in the nuts.
Imagine you and I popping up in a Western. That'd be great.
I remember one
day. No, you oi yourself. No. I've got something to tell you. Fuck off.
I remember actually one night at Caves, it might have been Jim Jeffries, after I'd done it, like the fifth nut shot. And he was just like, what have happened to jokes, Brendon? You can put them down. But it did seem apt though, because it was so violent. There was definitely a tinge of not violence to the room, but there was
a couple of years, depending. Later on in the piece, there was one night that we closed, and I always think each year's got to top last year's close. Yeah. And this particular year, you were doing bags of mushies. It was unreal. You were an absolute menace. And but this is when word of mouth would do what social media would do.
Yes.
People were at a festival going, you've got to see this.
Yeah.
And I had him every Wednesday because the Sunday was starting to sell itself. Yeah. So we'll get Burnsy on a Wednesday. Yeah, I'd love him on a Wednesday,
but the rules were still the same.
Yeah, it was like, and so everyone, and that Wednesdays were the best because the hospitality people coming.
Was that the Stephen Hawking year? No, I was sober then.
No, what a way to group the two. But hang on. So this particular year, you'd come and it would put absolute stress on you because it would bring out the best in him. And I got better at creating the right environment just before who was coming on or tailor it for the show. So you've come on, each week got harder and harder. And then there was a couple of times where you pushed it too far. It was like, that's great, but it's what happens here stays here.
Yeah.
On the last night, I said to you, okay, all we'll do is I'll come out and we'll do the wrestler slap on each other's face. And I slapped you, you fucking punted me. Like, excellent. I was prepared to take anything because I'd set up a series of events that would give everyone full circle and closure.
Yeah. Did we do nutball?
No, this was savage, and this is why I'm glad there were no camera phones because there was his saliva, his blood, and his hair in the audience.
Oh yeah,
and it was
is that the night we shaved me?
We shaved him. man, and
strap you to a
chair. Julia Wilson's knocked you over, so
that's right. She
security guard tackled you.
But no, that was gimmick. I told her to tackle me and not flat back.
Totally. So of course I've got everyone lined up and your permission because we needed to, because we're setting up a few wrestling moves.
Yeah.
Tanya Lee Davis comes out and smacks you with her shoe. Rain
She's a little person.
Rain Pryor walked over you, which was great. So and then Chris McCausland, a blind dude, dragged you off stage. Dragged you over and put you on the chair. And then I started handing out your hair in envelopes going, go and leave these at crime scene. Because we were partying that hard towards the end of the festival. We'd be like, the night, 2 nights before.
How can we top this?
The ending, we've got to do this. Maybe we could, and just getting weirder and weirder. Yeah. And I got a reaming from the office.
Did you?
But it was not massively, but I'm like, hey, the crowd, there was no phones, there's no evidence, no one got hurt. Yeah. But looking back, I go, that's
that was the line. Trauma. There was a few times where we were going, you got to tell them the South Park story.
So Provenza, it's got linked with Matt Stone Trey Parker. Yeah. Lindsay Webb's at the green room kind of filming party with Provenza.
The show, he did it as a live show first.
Right. So Linz manages to say to the lads, if you're going anywhere, you've got to end up at Fat Cave.
I know for a fact Provenza and Babs, they said they flew in on a private jet and they said, we want to take in anything. Yeah. And Babs prevents it. Naturally, Lindsay took the credit for it. What a fucking bullshit.
Hey, well, that's why he told me. Anyway, so they've...
Prevents and Babs. They said if you want to see anything, you've got to go to Fat Cave.
So I tell my front of house staff, my sound tech's off in the left corner, so he has to climb over an audience if you have a problem. We actually have to pass extra cases of beer via him around the room to get to our little curtained off green room. So it was a tight little fit. I've got my show manager, Jack, comes up to me and goes, Mick, come up here. And either that face is one of two things. Either we're out of drugs or something way worse. Right? Which is...
something way worse.
Right? So I've gone, what is it? And I walk up.
That's the barometer. He's got the face. It doesn't look like out of drugs.
It's like, okay, so we can put... Whatever it is, we'll have the verve to push through. So I go to the front of house, and I've never blown up. I don't even call... I grew up in hospitality, so I never used the word staff. It's always, we're a team. But it's the only time I've ever fucking popped off at any of the team. And this is how savage I am. Because what happened is, these guys come down, and they get turned away. Matt Stone, Trey Parker get turned away from my late night gig because they're humble. Right, in front of house, we're just.
Well, that's not what I heard. Because I spoke to her because she was in near tears.
What?
Because I turned up after the show and Micky's just backstage, just crestfallen, and I go, what went on tonight? And he goes, you won't believe it. And it's like Provenza had sent, because Provenza told me he'd sent them over too. Oh. But what I actually heard was they did rock up, and that Karen Collin, the owner of the Gilded Balloon, had told them Fat Caves is getting out of control. There's too many guest passes. No one, no matter who they are, is allowed in. So this 19-year-old girl, right, who's like, terrified for her job there, they show up and they go, can we come in? We've got passes, Provenza sent us, etc. And they said, no one. But apparently they did go, not to be dicks. Yeah. But we're the creators of South Park, just flown in from, etc. Yeah. And she goes... and she doesn't even know who they are or what that means.
Well,
then she goes,
that deserves a kicking.
Yeah, but apparently, like, she was when I rocked up, she was in near tears.
Right. Hang on, you were already in the room.
I wasn't. I wasn't there that night. I showed up after the show. I remember vividly because you were in a singlet backstage, like just staring at the ground in a chair, just fucking destroyed. And you told me what happened, and I then went, why are we even here? Like we're making no money. Yeah. The promise is supposed to be that we get discovered or seen by someone. Yeah. And I go nuts, and I'm like, why would you do that? And she's like, I know, I didn't know. I know you did. She was nearly crying because he didn't. I don't think you even yelled at her. I think actually you did more. I'm not angry. I'm so fucking disappointed.
No, I said, look, what time is your shift finished? And she goes, 2 a.m. I've gone, here, look, here's, and I have an envelope to pay my acts. I've gone, here's 20 quid. Can you please go home now?
Yeah.
There might be a bit there for a cab too.
Yeah. Just because he's just crestfallen. She's, because like by the time I arrived, she was going, I am so sorry, I had no idea, etc. But they actually did pitch hard to get in.
Right.
Because she told me. She told me, they told me who they were and so
on.
What
will you do?
But like, even them saying who they are, she should have gone and checked. They're saying they're from. I don't know what this is.
But because it was such a rowdy, rough,
look,
it was
and
overselling
I'm going
all the time.
I'm going to go into bat for Karen and Katie at the Gilded Blue, and they do phenomenal work. But there is the weekend where all of London turns up. All of London gets up on the fucking nose bags, but they all pretend to be BBC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even if some of them, or
and it's the hip show. And the comics want to go to.
They front up there, and just the door staff get all matters of kind of, do you know who I am? It's not new news, but particularly this weekend before, it's like, great, we've sold out, but we know we're sold out, and we're full of fucking pricks.
Yeah.
But also, how funny is that? Like, South Park notoriously never want to go to showbiz parties. Like, they never want to go to, like, any kind of thing, hang out at anything. And the only time they're invited to something and they want to go, they're not allowed in. That's almost like folklore. Like, that has to, like, at some point, Destiny, Kismet, has to say that Micky and I are going to meet Matt and Trey at some point, and we're going to let them know we're the Fat Caves guys. I bet you they'll be starstruck.
I've been trying to get into you guys for
years.
Years.
If you're listening,
if those are listening, please tag South Park and say, we wanted you to come. You were so welcome. You could have taken acid and worn a dress. You would have fit right in. It would have been fine. We would have fucking tied you to a wheelchair.
Kicked you in the nuts.
Jesus, titty fucking Christ.
You could have shat in a pint glass.
If they came, man.
That was actually, I think it was in 07. That was the Hawking year. Because the poster had me looking like I had severe cerebral palsy.
Yeah, right.
And I looked
this
quite
is
convincing.
pre-digital. I think we missed a trick. None of
Thank God.
It's cool that you can go, this was the year I was clean, this was the year I was divorced, this is the year I was... So you can separate your career into like...
It makes actually memory a lot easier, particularly if you're in that system, because you go, well, that was the year of that album.
Oh, and that's when I was trying to present this one. Yeah, this one I was in this...
Yeah. And then the rest of the year pieces together from that one bit of information as well. You know,
because you've got the lead in, you remember the previews, etc. So it goes in and out. So it's almost
it's a map.
Yeah. So wrapping up, is anything else you want to share? So first of all, you got Fringe coming up when this comes out.
Yes.
Are we doing anything together?
I'm doing my first hour back. Oh, we should definitely show I don't know if you can squeeze it in afterwards. So we did the Gong Show together on Thursday.
I'll post it up here. I'll superimpose it here.
There's definitely... Well, just check out Mickey's face when we hug.
I'll zoom in on it as well.
It's such a bloke's fucking push it down moment. He has a little bit of a more. He has a micro cry.
Yeah.
And we both, because exactly. It's been years since we've shared a stage, and it was lovely. And I'm in a fucking, I'm in Perth now because Mum's not well, so I can't tour. He's in Darwin. He's lonely.
Yeah.
Right. So and I mean, you're good kids and everything, but none of my old friends are here. So we both had a bit of a mates rush.
It's nice. I saw his name on the list of 19 comics, and I thought, that's great. As soon as he said, Micky, stay out there, I've gone, all right, we'll be doing something. Whatever, right? And that's what I learned playing alongside you, playing alongside Justin Hamilton, is listen to each other, let it go. And like you said, no matter how weird it's going, it will come around.
Or yes and.
And in the silence, sit in the silence and let it pull you in the right direction. And
I do think that minute kill Tony kind of thing. I think when you're starting out, because it's so combative, but yet you look at like when the panel is successful, they're yes-anding.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think like your generation is definitely pushed into that combative thing without really understanding the collaboration and cooperation yet. Yeah. So there's a lot of dead ends going on, but it takes a while of like getting it wrong to get it right. Yeah. So I'm doing my first hour back in quite a while. It's called Brendon Burns Mischief Part 1. And it's about where I've been during my absence.
Cool. It's
a crazy story.
Yeah, awesome.
The Homeland Security came to the show in Melbourne, and no one has a problem with me telling the truth.
Yeah, well.
So that's not intriguing enough.
Fucking, you got to get around that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, no one's told me to shut the fuck up.
Yet.
Oh, they did a bit. Yeah.
But look, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, guys. You got planes to catch.
Thanks for having us.
And things. No, thank you. Yeah, literally going straight from here to a gig to a plane. But thank you, gentlemen. Yes, have a look. I'll put links to social medias and stuff here.
Thanks.
Links to Fringe and everything. So and follow Brendon Burns and Micky D. Thank you very much again. You guys are legend. Thank you.
Oh yeah, and you can check out my YouTube series R2D2 Speaks.
I love that. I can't believe I didn't bring this up. I've been seeing those clips for ages before I realised that was you, and it's bloody brilliant. R2D2 Speaks is great.
It's getting bizarre.
Yeah.
The truth of his story actually has a parallel to mine in my absence.
Right. Okay.
But there is recent theories as well about recursive metaphysics and so on. I try and address it in the show.
Yeah, cool.
That stories have a habit of repeating. Like history repeats itself.
Yeah.
But so do myths. It's a big theme of this new hour is every civilization's history becomes the next one's mythology.
Yeah.
And we keep on proving shit.
Yeah.
Like, people scoff at Noah's Ark, but we now know for a fact there really was a flood.
Yeah.
So it's just getting lost in translation over the years. But a lot of these myths kind of happened. A lot of indigenous folklore is consistently, even though it's a spoken history, indigenous folklore consistently keeps getting proven anthropologically and geologically. You thought it was bullshit when you were a kid, but it's like, oh no, that dance about the tides. Yeah. They figured it out. That's what happened. Oh no, there really was a big lizard.
Yeah, right.
It's called Crocodilus.
Yeah.
We've got the fossil.
Yeah.
Which is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
When you think about, we don't even know how old the culture is.
Yeah.
It's weird that we're not proud of it.
Mm.
It's odd that we either treat it like an inconvenience or something to be condescended to.
Yeah.
And it's like, a little bit of awe is probably more apt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
little less awe.
Yeah.
And a bit more fuck.
It's a good
what
start.
a great
What a way with words.
Yeah.
I'm a published author.
Thank you very much, Brendon Burns Mickey D again.
Thanks,
stay tuned. See you next week. Thank you.